Добрый день, коллеги. Да, собственно, у нас, как сказать, сложившаяся практика участия наших уважаемых вендоров с нами на мероприятиях. Да. Сегодня с нами участвует, как уже сказала моя коллега, наши иностранные друзья из компании Aishu. Да. То есть Aishu для нас в текущий момент времени и для вас это очень интересный производитель по решениям СРК, системы резервного копирования прежде всего, хотя на самом деле портфель решений Aishu, он существенно более широкий, да, коллеги, собственно, об этом тоже расскажут, да, и на самом деле для нас потенциал это не только, как понятно, первичный называется в первичной части, поставки решений в области называется disaster recovery и backup, да, на самом деле те продукты, которые в том числе есть у компании и которые дадут вам дополнительно, называется, возможность расширить ареал использования и, соответственно, как вариант в том числе и продажи этих решений называется конечным потребителям, да. Коллеги, соответственно, мои об этом расскажут тоже более подробно, хотя, опять-таки, мы сегодня говорим все вокруг называется СРК и бэкап, поэтому рады то, что вы подключились сегодня. Да, я вижу часть людей, тех, кто был вчера, на вчерашнем мероприятии. Да, у нас вчера проходила, как мы обычно в нашей заведенной практике, инженерная сессия для пресейлов и, соответственно, коллег из инженерного блока, партнеров. Да, поэтому если у кого-то какие-то возникли вопросы там, по технике или по каким-то специфичным аспектам использования, можно, в принципе, посмотреть запись вчерашнего мероприятия. Да. Сегодняшнее наше мероприятие, оно сфокусировано прежде всего на том, чтобы дать вам понимание называется, о продуктах, о системе лицензирования продукта, да, и вокруг оного называется, да, который мы, как обычно, соответственно, будем проводить в рамках уже живой дискуссии, да, после того, как пройдет основная сессия, да. Еще раз, да, прежде чем, собственно, я передам слово нашим иностранным коллегам и конкретно Вольфгангу, который возглавляет всю структуру продаж в нашем регионе, на самом деле в очень большом регионе, называется в географии, да, по общим, называется, замечаниям по тому, что, собственно, сказала Кристина, да, мы перейдем сейчас на английский язык, да, все вопросы, которые у вас есть, большая просьба писать в чатик, да, не забывать, соответственно, мы все равно все вопросы учтем, какие будут возникать, не волнуйтесь, вопросы могут быть совершенно разнообразного плана, да, поэтому запись все равно так или иначе будет доступна для вас в конце, но вопросов, как бы сессии вопросов и ответов, да, живую, да, мы, как обычно, не записываем, да, мы, соответственно, это оставим в определенном виде value, да, или, так скажем так, предпочтениях, да, тех, кто с нами останется до конца, до конца текущей сессии, да, в принципе, сессию мы планируем делать не очень большой, как уже было сказано, порядка часа, даже, может быть, пораньше отстреляемся, да, поэтому будем рады вашим вопросам, живому общению, да, а так, в принципе, на текущее момент времени я тогда передаю слово нашим иностранным коллегам из компании Aishu, Вольфгангу, прежде всего, и дальше стартуем уже непосредственно презентацию. Wolfgang, I'm right now just make the short introduction about our today's session. Yeah, just also a little bit focus with the auditory about that all of the today discussions will be all around, yeah, the partners, commercial terms, licensing, yeah, all the related to them. Aishu AnyBackup solution first, yeah, but for sure you will be more than welcome to share the more inside outs, yeah, about the Aishu product portfolio at all, yeah, to bring the sign line, yeah, to the folks, especially from the sales side, yeah, about the value propositions, what the Aishu can bring to them, yeah, beyond the scope of the first interest related to the AnyBackup solution, yeah. You can share your, let me say, your presentation right now in front of the auditorium, and so we can start.
Okay, can you already, good day together. Many thanks for the introduction to Ekaterina and to Victor. Can you already see my screen? Is this fine for you?
Yes, we've seen well, yeah.
Perfect, perfect. So yes, we will of course concentrate today on the sales topics. I will, of course, give you at first a quick introduction of what we are doing, who we are, and so on. And then let's concentrate more and more. Elma is here as well with us. She will give you smart insights about the features we have. So because I'm always in the opinion that it's good to know what we are talking about. Yeah, so let's start. Let's go into the session, who we are. And maybe you know this famous saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This is something what already, the slogan already shows us where we are and what we want to do. The partners, so you, the resellers, are the most important guys for us in the market. We from Aishu, we only drive here in EMEA the complete partners, the channel-driven approach. That means we do not go a direct way to the customers. We also will never, either if it's your or the distribution special wish, we will contact the partner as end customers, of course, but only if it's your special wish. You are the single point of contact in the market, and you are the heroes, you are the champions from our side. We stand by your side, shoulder to shoulder, but you are driving the business, and you are the most important for our business, for our common business. So who is Aishu in general? I sometimes say, yes, we are the Chinese, that's true, and we are new. This is half true when I say we are true, because we are already founded 2006 in China by Mr. Frank He, who you will see a picture of him by the next slide, of course. When I say we are new, yes, we are driving the EMEA business now since 2 years. So this is almost new, and you could imagine that when you are Chinese with a backup approach, that it's not always very easy, but step by step we are growing more and more and more. We are growing as well with employees. For the moment, we have more than 1,800 employees worldwide. And as well, worldwide, we have more than 1,000 partners so far. Our headquarters is placed in Shanghai, and our EMEA headquarters is placed in Hamburg in Germany. Me, myself, I'm living in Munich, but this does not matter to also nowadays to meet you in Russia or in complete Russian region. Worldwide, we have more than 24,000 customers. And yeah, our slogan for a smarter future. Further on, at the end of the presentation, I will give you an outlook for our new vision for what is a data-driven company. This is our new approach, what we have launched by this year. And this could be also, I suppose, very, very interesting for you. I mentioned, or I promised you a picture of our old boss, of the CEO, of our founder, Frank He. He is also my direct boss, and he is leading, of course, the headquarters in Shanghai. The Singapore office is led by our number 2, by Ms. Sophie Lee, and the German, or in Germany, the headquarters for EMEA and Latin America. This is driven by my side. And I'm driving mainly the sales and the operational stuff from here. Yeah, when I say we are not new, we have a lot of contacts as well with Gartner, with IDE, with some other rating agencies. Most of the reports we have presented on our webpage. I can share this over Ekaterina to you. Of course, some links for you also to our homepage, to the Gartner Magic Quadrant reports and so on. Gartner is sometimes a bit different or difficult to share the reports. For some, you have to pay additional money, but this is Gartner's Magic Quadrant live, how they do their business. But at the end of the day, you see we are also there in the Gartner China and the APAC market since years. So we are the market leader over there in backup and collaboration software. And yes, I mentioned it as well before, since 2 years, we started now our business in EMEA. We have global strategies. For the strategy and for the partners, I will go over later on to a different slide to give you more insight on that. But we have as well, next to our distribution, like Factor Group, we have also global strategies with Huawei, with SAP, with Microsoft. Innsbruck could be also named already, or another big name out of China would be Alibaba, of course. We have, from mentioned, 1,800 employees, more than 900 are working for our development, for our R&D. And these guys produced over the last years more than 300 patents on our side. The 6 R&D centers, one of this for EMEA is placed, I mentioned, in Hamburg. This is our headquarter as well. And yes, we have 4 global artificial intelligence labs as well. Maybe as well interesting, more than 50 countries and regions, countries 50, yes, it is becoming more and more at the moment, but more than 50 countries we are already active and we have our customers already in. You will see later on as well some use cases, reference stories from our side, and also some larger names where we can present to you. Yeah. What are we doing? But I'm quite sure that Victor in Russian language introduced us with AnyBackup. Yes, this is our core product. I also name it sometimes our flagship at the moment. With AnyBackup, this is data protection, data disaster recovery, everything around data protection around structured data. In the EMEA region, we go out with 3 products. AnyBackup as our flagship, as number 1. Then AnyShare, of course, for unstructured data. AnyShare is a collaboration software, a product for collaboration, for sharing data. You can share the data with your colleagues in the company. You can share the data outside with your colleagues, with your friends. You can collaborate in parallel on your office data. You can have access to it over mobile devices, over your web browser. You have applications on any kind of devices. So this is an anywhere, anyhow, any times approach to all your data. And with AnyShare, you also can integrate workflows that from one step to another step, the document should become moved. And there's also a kind of governance feature integrated that not only people who are allowed to see it, but there's also, you are also able to implement policies. The data that can become shared by you is only data what is able to be shared by you, even contents-wise, can become shared. Otherwise, the data inside a document will be automatically grayed out and so on. These are your policies and a very powerful collaboration tool with short. Any robots, so over AnyShare, we work together with the unstructured data. So we have the structured data and the unstructured data. And the last one, what would be missing in a complete data center or in company's data is, of course, the meshing data. This is the meshing data, for example, log files, what your productive environment when you combine these, this brings us into the situations that we can move over to the next step, to the so-called data-driven company. I will come on that later on with some examples. And then I think at the end of the deck, you will see our big approach, what we want to know. With any data, this is an approach, what we are driving for the moment, very successful in China and in Asia Pacific, but we will not launch this by next year in EMEA, but to make the presentation ready, the knowledge graph, so you can visualize everything from analytics and so on. Over the first 3 tools will become maybe by end of next year as well to our EMEA region. But today we will concentrate on AnyBackup, on our data protection tool. A quick overview about AnyBackup software. Here the heading already gives you an impression how we sell it. We do not sell a license, we sell subscriptions. So that means you can decide by months, per year, how many months, how many years you want to buy or rent our piece of software. And at this end of this period, you can extend it for a certain period as well. By Scratch, of course, I mentioned it, it's a backup and recovery, it's disaster recovery tool as well. You could implement a data archive solution and security and compliance solution. So a complete bench of what you could imagine from a backup and recovery tool. By business-wise, we do not differ between virtualized platform, physical platform, on-premise platform, or cloud platforms. You can mix this in a way how you like it. And at the end of the day, of course, it doesn't matter for us if you want to use your block storage. This means your typical storage devices, your file storage like NAS servers or whatever, object storage in the cloud, or if you want to go or want to use offline storage like tape drives or DVDs or whatever. Everything of this is supported by us. If you need more details, we have a compatibility matrix, and over Factor Group and over the specialists from Factor Group, we will share to you all this information, of course. And if you have special needs on that, let us know it. We will always look back if we have already a new certification in place for your special device, or we can always start certification for any further approach you need to have. Here a quick overview about our ecosystem, and I think most of the applications you know or you are working with are listed here, but the list is even longer. So this is just a small overview of databases, for example, of cloud native like Docker, Kubernetes, of cloud infrastructure technology, or as well big data like Hadoop or SAP HANA. So MongoDB, of course, as well, is also becoming more and more interesting at the moment. It's just an overview. If you have some special needs, just let us know. We will definitely find a solution for you. Yeah, here are some highlights, or let's call it, sometimes people call it how to pitch the customers themselves. I mentioned before, we are going out with subscriptions. This means we can reduce over this on-demand subscriptions the total costs of ownerships. You just buy as much as you want, and if you need more, just extend your subscriptions what you need. Of course, it's easy to use as well. We have all in one web interface integrated, and also this makes it very, very easy for visualizing or for the daily use, for the operation and maintenance cost, because it is absolutely easy to use our piece of software. I also say, yeah, maybe it's not green and green or red and red like other vendors. Ours is more blue and blue, but at the end we can manage. We should be able to manage all your needs. It's just a bit different, but it's at the end, it's doing the same. The strong compatibility, of course, I mentioned already to you over the overview of our ecosystem. And we are also, of course, our genomes, where we come from, is Chinese, and large cloud platforms like, yeah, I mentioned it before as well, like Alibaba and so on. We, of course, support these. and when I say strong compatibility, I always saying here AnyBackup is a backup software. Not only backup, you could use this for moving or migrating or data as well. You could also use it, for example, for migrating the data over disaster recovery into the cloud or cross-platform restore within the cloud. So for us, definitely it doesn't matter. If you want to go out into a public cloud, just do it. If you want to use your private cloud or any kind of hybrid cloud, do it. Mix it up with your on-premise installation. It doesn't matter for us at all. A big overview, what we are doing, we mainly differ between enterprise and express. The main difference, to be honest, is only that enterprise, that AnyBackup Express, we end up at 50 terabytes and we have no CDM with Express. If you need more than 50 terabytes, go over to enterprise, and if you want to use CDM, just use enterprise. This is the main difference what we have. That's all. So we license here, or the main difference is enterprise and express. And at the end of the day, yeah, we do it over terabytes, back-end terabytes. We also have a calculating tool in where we can recalculate front-end terabytes into back-end, so we will be always helpful for you to find the right amount of data. Back-end terabyte is one kind of licensing type we can do. And furthermore, what we also can do is we could count your agents, and each agent over the number of agents we could also help you to find the best licensing, the cost-effective licensing for your needs. So at the end, for you remembering, for licensing, it is subscription over backend terabytes or over the number of agents. And for the future, because the requests from the Russian market is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger to get as well a perpetual licensing, we will do that as well in the future, but we need to analyze the model at the moment, and I think very, very soon, so in the next days, maybe weeks, we can provide you a perpetual license here as well. If you run here into questions, also the colleagues from Factor Group, they will answer or can help you in answering these questions, and they will also always contact us back, and if anything is needed, just come over. We will find I mentioned that we will also always find the best solution for you. So normally we do not speak about competitions. This is not the way we are doing it, but I was asked to give a quick overview on competition, for example, with Veeam, with Commvault, or here I selected as well Cohesity to bring it in. And over that, I think you can see that we do not have to hide. We have the same features, at the end, the same features. We can protect the same infrastructure. It is, as I mentioned, it's blue and blue, not green and green, or red and red. It's just a bit different by handling. At the end, we will find it, the solution. I only can mention it as often as I can. It's new, yes, but not worse. Maybe even better, because I say when we are new, of course, maybe we are more agile. What is AnyBackup? This is a quick summary of it, and here's as well a link in for you where you can find more information over our platform. It's a backup tiered protection data platform for hybrid clouds. And as well, here I want to mention once more as well, for not only for hybrid clouds, for multi-clouds, for on-premise environment, for everything. And of course, as well for cross-platform protection. Once more, a small overview about some scenarios. Backup to cloud. You can move the data into the cloud. You can archive data in the cloud, because archiving is becoming more and more interesting, to move data out from your own data center with a certain level of retention and warm features. So warm means write once, read many, so you cannot modify this data anymore. Data migration to cloud, very interesting when you want to, let's say, get rid of your old data center, on-premise data center, and you want to move it over as your data center into the cloud. By the way, when I'm always speaking into the cloud, yes, we can use the cloud, of course, as a target, but we can run, if you want to have us, as well as an XaaS approach, so everything as a service approach, and our purpose backup, data's backup in the cloud, backup from cloud to cloud as a software as a service. It's completely up to you. It's completely up to your approaches and your needs for your business. The disaster recovery to cloud is as well, when you want to migrate data into cloud, you do the backup, the disaster recovery to cloud, and then you can start it from the cloud as well, of course. You can move it between different clouds as well. This is, of course, as well possible. At this point, I would love to hand over for a quick overview to Elma. Elma, are you already online? And she will give you a quick introduction about some more features of us, and with some nice slides.
Yes.
So I would move over to you, and later on I will go back with the second part of mine when I'm talking about the channel and the infrastructure of us and how we work together.
Yes, sure. So now let me share my screen.
Not yet. Oh, it's okay. Just right now we see. Okay.
Okay. So good morning, all the friends online, and thank you for your time for listening today. And this is Elma from Shanghai Aishu AnyBackup product department speaking. And Wolfgang has talked about so many about our company and about the portfolio there, and I'm going to share something about AnyBackup to all of you, and how you can use it, and what is the use cases, and maybe you will be interested in some customer stories. So I will share those of information with all of you here. Actually, I was planning to share the 4 parts with you. However, since this is all our friends here are most of you are the sales topic, so I'm going to skip the second part about the a little technical. So I will start by the first part. What is AnyBackup Family 7? So as Wolfgang mentioned, that we position AnyBackup as the tiered data protection and data service platform. Why we say that? Now let's look at the bottom of this slide. AnyBackup protects various workloads and applications no matter where they are. They are on premises or in the hybrid cloud, multiple cloud, or they're in the public cloud. And with the rich technologies such as backup, CDN, and the CDP, AnyBackup is able to satisfy the different SLAs for both the resilient business such as Fusion Cloud, VMware, Hyper-V, and the Azure business such as Office 365, Hadoop, and Fusion Insights. And you can see here, there are several solutions. Actually, I just selected several ones here. There are anti-ransomware solution, hybrid cloud and multi-cloud protection solution, and the solution for unstructured data protection. So these solutions are designed to handle the different challenges for the customers in different scenarios. And very important one and interesting thing is that most of customers, they said, we do not only want our backup data to be used for recovery, we want to explore the real value of our data. We need to use the data, not only when we need to do recovery. So AnyBackup designed this. We can provide the data services such as use the backup data to do the disaster recovery exercise and verification, and use the backup data to do some dev tests and make the data be available for query and analytics, and also cross-cloud replication and migration. So this is the reason that why we say AnyBackup is the tiered data protection and also the data service platform here. There are 4 products designed, AnyBackup Enterprise 7 and Express 7, and Wolfgang has stated very clearly about the difference. So the Enterprise 7, it is for large organizations with all the backup, CDM and the CDP in one single console, and with no limitation on capacity. And Express 7, it is for small and mid-sized enterprises, no CDM, just backup and continuous data protection. And the master server 7, actually, this is a very, very popular product in China. This is not for backup or recovery. This is a management product providing the centralized management for multiple backup domains with visualization. For example, most of customers, they may have they may have 2 or more data centers. So they want to see the DR status in the visible way. So AnyBackup Master Server helps to do that. And AnyBackup Disaster Recovery Management, we also call it the short name DRM. This is providing the unified management of recovery resources and orchestration. So we set the DR exercise or the verification. Actually, you don't need to do it manually. With DRM, it can automatically help customers to do the DR orchestration. So this part, I will skip it. And let's move on to the use cases. Typically, there are 5 scenarios that you can use AnyBackup to protect your data and workloads there. So there are on-prem protection, DR for core applications and workloads, and the remote disaster recovery, also called offsite DR, and hybrid cloud protection and data archive. So we will talk one by one details from those single scenario here. The first one, what kind of customers will choose this model on-prem data protection? Okay, there are 3 conditions. Number 1, the customer is running the business and data on-premises instead of cloud. Number 2, there is no plan to move to the cloud. And number 3, very important one, they got existing infrastructure such as servers. So in this case, obviously, deploying AnyBackup on-premises can satisfy their requirements, and using the different technologies to protect those diversified workloads with different RPO and RTO objectives. Disaster recovery for core business, the second scenario. Some customers, they may need disaster recovery for some mission critical business. And I would mention that it is very necessary to prepare the DR resources in advance and create the CDP job as disaster recovery is achieved through CDP. And through this, the critical data can be protected continuously and also take over when the production environment fails to guarantee the business continuity. The third one, some organizations, they have more than one data center, and sometimes one data center in one city and another one in another city. So in this case, they want to do the remote disaster recovery between the two data centers. In this case, you just need to deploy two AnyBackups in these two centers separately and do the data redundancy through remote replication and sometimes even reverse replication. Not only the offsite DR can be achieved, you can also use you can also do the backup and the management centrally. The above is all about on-premises. How about cloud? We all know that cloud is a popular trend here, and some organizations, they're trying the cloud transformation. So in this case, they may need to back up on the cloud and migrate the data to cloud. So in this case, AnyBackup provides two deployment modes. Now we see the first one is deployment in the cloud. This is much more suitable for those customers who have no additional IT infrastructure and no plan to add anything. So in this situation, the customer only needs to deploy AnyBackup in the cloud with no additional purchasing of the hardware on premises, and then back data up to cloud through backup or replication. And the only tiny little difference between this slide and the last one is the deployment mode. We have talked about on the cloud. Now we're showing the other one, on-prem deployment. Actually, opposite to the last one, some customers, they want to go to cloud and they have some existing servers already on premises. So in this case, they don't need to buy anything else additionally, and they just need to move to the cloud. So they just need to deploy AnyBackup in their existing servers and then back data up to cloud. So here we come to the last one, data archive. This is needed for some reasons such as long-term retention, compliance requirements. You can see here, AnyBackup support multiple archive media, including cloud, object storage, tape library, and the Blu-ray box. And most of the customers, they can choose one according to their actual situation. And of course, most of customers, they prefer the cloud archive because this is the most cost-effective for them. So AnyBackup can actually separate the data as the code data and the hot data and the archive. Once you settle the archive policy, then those code data, which is not used so frequently, can be automatically archived to the archive media you choose. And I generally talked about some data information about AnyBackup, and I hope the above content can help you know more about it. And I know most of customers, they are very interested in some real cases to see how other customers thought about AnyBackup. And sure, this is a very important part. So I have selected several typical and representative ones, and I'm not going to talk about them one by one. I will talk about one slide very detailed. So you can see this is an overview of our customers. In mainland China, AnyBackup has made a very great achievement covering customers in nearly all industries and often a very good share, especially in government industry. In government industry, we have covered more than 90% of national ministries. And meanwhile, we value the global market very much. So we have invested a lot in the global business. And actually, we got a good performance there. There are our customers in over 40 countries. And you can see here are some global customers references. This is a case of a customer in Singapore, a bank here. I'm not going to talk about this one. I want to talk about this case in Russia. For some reason, we cannot public the name of this company. However, we can share about how we do this and what the customer requirement is. So this customer has used the Fusion Cube with numerous virtual machines there. The data volume is 50 terabytes, and with such huge data volume, they required short backup window. And there are 3 additional requirements there. The unified management of 2 backup systems, because they have deployed 2 AnyBackup in the 2 centers. And number 2, they want visual DR status of these 2 centers, as I mentioned when I talked about AnyBackup master server. And 3, they wanted the seamless expansion of capacity, because this is just the first period projects. There will be more and more virtual machines on this virtualization platform. So in this case, this customer has deployed 2 AnyBackups in the 2 centers, and also 1 AnyBackup master server to do the unified management with visualization. And in this case, actually with lots of advanced technologies that we have achieved the fast and the batch backup and recovery for this customer in Russia with various technologies here. And I hope that this can help more about the feedback from our customers of AnyBackup. And the next 2 are the Chinese ones, very typical and representative. And for the time reason, I'm going to hand over to Wolfgang. So I will send these slides to our partner factor group. And if you are interested in this, you can have a very careful going through there. Thank you very much for your listening today, and I really hope that we can cooperate together to better serve our customers there. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So let me share my screen once more. Yeah, so I think it's up. No, I have to press. So now you should see it again. Yeah. I promised you some more details about our collaboration as well. Most important, of course, I could imagine the collaboration with our distribution with Factor Group, and how we interact together and how we interact with you as our VARs, with our partners, working directly with our customers. I mentioned before, we're only doing channel business, no direct touch to the customers. So there would be 2 types. The second one is what we are doing. The VAD is Factor Group, our champion of the region of Russia, and then they go out to you as the VARs, to the registered partners, and you speak to the end customers, of course. In some regions, in smaller regions, we do this with VAPs directly, but generally spoken, this approach here is the main what we prefer and what we do, and this is what we do here in the Russian region as well. So Factor Group is our distribution, our single point of contact. They contact you, and you can the way back, vice versa as well. In some cases, in some countries where it's avoidable, where it's possible, We are also doing a kind of OEM approach. That means we, with our headquarters in China, work together over a global agreement with Huawei, with Inspur, with Alibaba, mentioned before as well, Microsoft yeah, I just wanted to SAP. Big cloud vendors, AWS, Azure, and so on. These are such global partners from us, and over them, say a hardware, say a product combined with our product, provided over, say, a marketplace, over, say, a configuration tool. And generally, when we speak, for example, with Huawei, they also go out in the regions over distribution and the same way into the market as well. This is also possible from our side, but again, I think our approach will be our factor group here in Russia. An overview over our approach by hopefully we can start in the next 1, 2, maybe 3 weeks with our so-called Cloud Hub. The Cloud Hub, a better wording for understanding would be just partner program or partner portal. Over this Cloud Hub, you will be able to see all information, documentation, best practices, white papers, training materials, contact details, and so on and so on and so on. This depends, of course, on your certification and your agreement level, VIP, a regional champion, or over the distribution. So at the end of the day, this does not mean that you as a partner in the region does not have access to it. Of course, you will have access to it. You just have to register on it, and you have to name your distribution by sites, and then everything is going in a similar way like for the distribution as well. At the end, why is this? We want to make our customers, of course, our common customers, of course, happy with all the information what we can provide you over our Cloud Hub. So it is not released so far. Please be with us on that, but it will come very, very soon. We are working on it, and everything will be up and running in the next weeks. By service, it is the same. In some regions, we can offer you already some service partners who could help you in doing help you by implementing and so on. But I think as well on your side, the service is done mainly as well over you, over the partners themselves. This is your local business, of course. You can do this. You should know what you do at the end of the day, of course. And subscription from our side always comes, of course, with the support, with the standard support package. You will also be in the possibility to contact our technical personnel and our service personnel. A VAD and a VIP agreement partner, agreed partner, will have some special treatment with our service partners, of course, and they can route this over back to you as first contact from our side. This is an overview what we plan to do then when the trainings will be available over the Cloud Hub, over the partner program. So we will have inserts. This is main important for you. We will have trainings for sales. We will have trainings for pre-sales and for technical engineers. The numbers here is just an example. We will define this from step to step, from region to region, in a matter how we need and how we would like to see it as the best approach, of course. But it will be, you will all have access to the trainings in very few time. Of course, rights and support, we will do together the sales support, can do together the marketing support, and of course the technical support as well. And for you as the partner, again, the distribution should be your single point of contact, and over your partners, over Factor Group, we will work everything together. And I mentioned it by beginning, we are always next to you, and we would like to you as best friends, shoulder to shoulder, with their eyes on the same level. Deregistration, of course, is done by you over factor group, and factor group will bring us in the information in our common portal. And over that, we work exclusively together. A deregistration from my side, I handle a deregistration in a way of, yes, it will end a deregistration when I see that there is only a registration done but not working on it, but we will always speak together and automatically end over on hard end. I will not bring in for the moment. We will see how our common business will grow. But at the end of the day, it's typically with typical information, and I think factor group, you know factor group quite well. They will do the same work as you are used over the last years with you, just with us in the future. So what I can hand over to you as an overview once more over the subscriptions we offer to you. It's a really, really simple licensing model. Think about backend terabytes. We can help you in recalculating in front-end capacity, of course, or over agents. This is the simplest way of doing a licensing mode, months and yearly. And this is more or less everything what you need to know from your customer side to get a license from our side. The installation will be done when you have installed our product. You will become asked for a so-called activation code, and over this activation code, the time you have subscribed the software will become free. This subscription, I mentioned it before, includes a 24/7 support agreement. We have additional support service on our side. This would cost additional 24/7 hours. I think is mainly for most customers we have at the moment. This is the pre-loved kind of support. And as well, it doesn't cost you more. Here you can see as well some more details over our website if you want to look deeper into what really feature is included in our licensing. But at the end of the day, as mentioned, between Express and Enterprise, there is no major difference next to limited again to 50 terabytes. And CDP will not become included here. The master service is something very fancy. I will try later on during the question to find a picture of it that I can share with you a nice screenshot of this master server. It's a really fancy tool with a great overview, with a word globe, with the world of a globe overview, and where all your data centers are marked up, and as important information from these sites of your installations. Let me switch back to the other presentation. I think it should be that one. Yes, here we stopped before. I promised you as well to give you an outlook into the data-driven company. What is a data-driven company? What could you imagine about that? We have been talking about before, maybe you remember about 3 products we want to approach here. Let me at first go 3 slides ahead. And maybe you remember the structural data, the unstructured data, and the machine data, and the so-called knowledge graph. This is what we need to have for a data-driven company. This is structured data, you remember, this is AnyBackup. Unstructured data, touch unstructured data day by day. This is AnyShare. Here you work together with your colleagues over documents. You can share images, you can do your own image library. It's the same with audio, video, designing. If you're a graphical company working with them, they can also share their CAD drawings and whatever. Any robot, think about log analysis and tracing tool, and at the end, the overview over the knowledge graph. this would be any data for the future. But over these three tools, we could do a very great approach. At the end of the day, we found out that this data added approach is old-fashioned. Because at the end of the day, when you know over the backup, the data itself, when you know how the people work day by day over any share, and you know how the leading information systems, for example, a database or SAP itself, and over the log files, you can analyze how many people work with this database, how much is attach rate to a database, or who is working how often with not who itself, but how many people work with your exchange with Teams or with such things, and you bring this all together in an artificial intelligence, then you can say this piece of data, this Word document, this email, this PowerPoint presentation should be interesting for person A, B, and C, but only in case, of course, when they have access to it. And never mind, this data is the customer's data. This is your data, you as a customer, your data. We never ever go out of your environment, either on-prem or in your cloud. You decide, but better to say you, together with your customers, decide where all these data and all these services run. None of this data is going out. They analyze the artificial intelligence, and all this information resides only on your side in your environment. Doesn't matter as a service or on-prem. It doesn't matter. We can do it in all sides. But this is the way how we would like, or how we see the data is moved in the future. At the end of the day, let's do a simple example. When you do a database backup, for example, an Oracle database backup, every third hour, because your backup administrators say, yes, this is one of our most important databases, and we need to back up it every third hour on flash devices. The flash devices are huge, expensive, every 3 hours, bandwidth costs, track it, is everything run properly, and so on. At the end of the day, it's good to know that the database is protected. But what will happen when any robot would analyze that exactly this database? Only one person per week is using this database. It's a very large one. And so the attach rate to this database is such low that it is not interested anymore. And the changes are done almost nothing. Then any robot can move over to the information automatically to any backup and say, don't back up it every third hour, back it up with a lower priority, for example, once a day, alert all the administratives, guys on set. And this would be the approach, what could be done automatically. As well, when you come into the company in the morning and you start working, for example, with your PowerPoint presentation on Aishu, and you automatically know, hey, there is a lot of other information for Aishu or for data protection in your company, and you will become automatically shown this information in a kind of dashboard over any share. This means as well, cold data, unused data is becoming more and more useful again for you as the person and for you as the company itself, because this data costs you a lot of money, but it is unused. With our approach, the data-driven organization, the data over the artificial intelligence will give you automatically all the information you need for your daily work. This is the approach of our daily driven organization. And this is the collaboration, of course, of 3 products of us, not only data protection. This would be, in my opinion, a good approach. Data protection is necessary, definitely necessary from our side. It's your insurance for the data, of course. Okay. Come back to me for this data-driven organization. If you like this approach, I can give you more and more details on this. This is just our future vision, how we should interact with data in the future. What I would like to share with you are some partners and references. Elmar started before, of course, again, some cloud, OpenStack, VMware, HRC, AWS. I also could mention here Deutsche Telekom, a large, it's not finalized so far, but it will become finalized. One of the largest cloud providers in Russia will also list it here in the next future. So for the world of cloud, we are, I would say, yeah, we have very good and very large partners. And if you want to join us with your private cloud into that certification mode, we will do some tests. It will, I'm quite sure it will work. Here's some global customers as well. Elmar mentioned it before with some reference stories. Big customers, of course, and big customers like telco, from finance, from every kind of verticals. Over 24,000 customers worldwide. Not all we are able to share the names, but we will always find the solution for you. We can copy paste the solution for you, but not able to share, of course, the names. As well for any share, it's also a very large customer base already we have in place. As I mentioned, yes, we are new maybe in the EMEA market, but we are not new in the world. So that's for the moment, this would be all from my side for the moment. I would be happy if you come over with some questions, what was missing from your side. If you need other details, let us know. We are here.